Now you are complaining about a mission school that has their own law. A mission school that has their own law. You are complaining. I think you should break your mosques and build a school with the standard of Wesley girls. Your Muslim brothers and sisters that their parents took them to Wesley girls, or those that chose Wesley girls to attend, they know very well that you have Islamic schools in Ghana, but they decide not to choose the Islamic schools. Why didn't they choose the Islamic schools? What the standard Wesley girls has gotten to, and what Wesley girls can offer them in their life is far, far better than your so-called Islamic school. That is why they don't want to attend there. So what Wesley girls school did to get where they are, you can't go there to dictate what you want. Shut up. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location and when the video will come your way. Greetings to you all. Thank you for the good work. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for whatever. Thank you for the hate. It's all part of it. We welcome you once again, the record keeper. Not only records, the records keeper, the descendant of Thoth, the African prophet. The fire-breathing being is here. When the realities of life are uncovered, change is a must. Thank you very much. I believe you saw our last video that has been uploaded concerning the fictional character Muhammad moving out of Mecca, heading towards Yathrib, a town called Yathrib, which later became Medina, which simply means city. And he also became Madinatul Munawwara, the bright city, or Madinatul Rasul, the city of the apostle of the deity Allah, or Taibatul Taiba, the pure of the pure, or the holy of the holy. All is the name of where the fictional character Muhammad was assumed, seek asylum, and established what you have today as Islamic religion. See, if you are really following, or if you have followed our expose on Islamic religion since when we started to this point, you might even decide not to watch our videos again, and you will be okay. You realize and you've learned that Islamic religion is man-made religion, just like any other religion. It is a man-made religion. Islamic is a man-made religion that takes advantage of humanity, that takes humanity and the ignorant of humanity as leverage for its betterment. That is what Islam is. Islamic religion is organized politics. The difference between religion, the political system of religion, and the democratical system of religion is that the religious politics is the only politics where you cannot have an opposition. Yes, you cannot have an opposition because you claim it is a God, a divine being who is behind your political party. So what you say is a decree. What you do is a law. Your act is a law. Your words are decree. That is the political aspect of religion, more especially Islam. That is exactly what the fictional character Muhammad did when he got to Medina. Muhammad in Medina was autocratic leader. Muhammad in Medina was a statesman without contest, a statesman without anybody to oppose him. Oppose him and you are opposing the so-called divine being in the sky known as Allah, and oppose Allah and you are known as kafir. When you are known as kafiri, your blood is allowed to be split. This is the organized political system of religion, more especially that of Islamic religion. So if you care to know, Muhammad in Medina or in Yathrib is not Muhammad in Mecca. Muhammad in Mecca, whether he is a true prophet or not, I don't give a damn about that. I don't care about that. Whether he is a true prophet or he's a fake prophet, whether he is a prophet of light or he is a prophet of darkness, whether he is a prophet of doom or he's a prophet of truth, I don't give a damn of that. But Muhammad in Mecca somehow is a prophet. Whatever prophet he is, I don't care. But Muhammad in Medina is a different thing. Yes, this is the whole idea. The true color and the true face and the reality of Muhammad and his Islam was perceived properly in Medina. Yes. At this juncture, I want to tell you this. A lot of you know Muslims, but you don't know Islam. I take that again. A lot of you know Muslims, but you do not know Islam. See, the kind of Islam minority Muslims portray is different from the kind of Islam majority Muslims portray. Get this straight. When Muslims are minority, the type of Islam they portray is different. Get this straight. Know this. So, you see, if you are a country, if you are an institution, if you are an organization, and you are dealing with Muslims, you need to be careful. You need to know who you are dealing with. You need to know how to handle them. See, we are saying this because of the peace of humanity. You see, do you think Muslims love to insinuate that their religion is religion of peace for nothing? No. You see, if you are really a human, you don't walk around telling people I am a human. I don't know if you understand the logic. If you are really a human, you don't walk around telling people I am a human. You are a human. So if you are a human, other humans know you are a human. So why do you want to tell people you are a human? Have you ever seen cat walking around telling people we are cats? Everything shows that they are cats. Dogs, the same. Sheep, goats, fowl, lion, tigers, snakes, leopard. They don't go around telling people they are leopards or snakes. No, everything shows that that's what they are. Maybe you will say those ones don't speak because they do not speak, so they don't say it. Well, you see, humans that speak don't walk around telling people they are human. Everything about them says they are human. So if you are indeed a peaceful human being, you don't go around telling people you are peaceful human being. Your everything indicates that you are a peaceful human being. You don't go around telling people. If you have a peaceful environment, if you have a peaceful organization, if you have a peaceful institution, if you have a peaceful religion, you don't need to tell people that my religion is peace. The religion itself, the adherent of the religion, the folks of the religion, the members of the religion, their act, their movement, their everything will show, their actions will show. After all, action speaks louder than words. Their actions will show that they are peaceful. Why do you want to propagate your peace all over? And Islam is peace. Islam is peace. It means something is wrong. What do you yearn for? Anytime you talk about something too much, is what you are yearning for. It is what you are craving. It is what you are lacking. That is the logic. That is the natural logic of life reality. It is because you don't have the thing and you want to claim that that is what you are. If you have it, you don't need to. Doctors don't walk in the town and tell people we are doctors. Teachers don't walk in the town and tell people they are teachers. When you see them in the field, you know. So when you go to hospitals, doctors don't tell you they are doctors. You see them, their actions and their movement tells you they are doctors. Nurses, the same. All the professions, When you go to where they are, they exhibit what they are. They don't need to tell you. When you go to Islamic dominated countries who are really practicing the Islam, is it peace you find or opposite of peace? I leave the answer of this question to you. If you go to Islamic dominated regions, is it peace you find or opposite of peace? If you go to Islamic dominated environment, Islamic dominated communities, Islamic dominated societies, is it peace you find or opposite of peace? I leave the answers to these questions to you. So going around telling people you are peaceful or you are peace or your religion is a peaceful religion does not change anything. Does your actions and your deeds portray that? I welcome you once again. Follow our social media handles: TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We are all there, especially the TikTok. These days, our TikTok page is very, very active. I greet you once again. The final video is about Muhammad getting into Medina. But before then, the Medina entrance, before he entered Medina, before he got to Medina, there is something. We will discuss that and then we will chip in something which we will talk about later. Now, let's get into it. On the way to Medina, Muhammad stopped at a place known as Kuba. And this Kuba desert town or desert village, Muhammad stayed there for some time. There was an argument about the number of days Muhammad stayed in Kuba. As usual, Islamic religion, everything in the religion is questionable. There's argument about everything in the religion. There's argument about everything. So they argued, how many days did Muhammad, fictional character, stopped in Kuba? How many days did he live in Kuba? Let's discuss his stay in Kuba and I will reveal some secret to you. See, in Islamic religion, there is no religious building. I take that again. There is no religious building in Islamic religion. That is, even if Islamic religion you see today, even if we agree to it, we agree for the sake of argument that the fictional character Muhammad established Islam. See, if this fictional character Muhammad, who was originally Kutham bin Abdullah, if he is to come back today, and see what people are doing and attribute it to him, he will say, I don't know this. Kutham bin Abdullah, who became Muhammad later, Kutham bin Abdullah, if he is to wake up today, the villager, the barbaric Kutham bin Abdullah, who later became Muhammad by force and lies of Islamic historians, the likes of Ibn Kathir, Ibn Hisham, and Ibn Ishaq and co. If this Kutham bin Abdullah were to come back today and to see people practicing this thing they call Islam and attributing it to him, he will say he doesn't know anything about this. This is the truth, nothing but the truth. He will say he didn't know anything about it. So a religious building that as a Muslims gather into it, to go into that religious building and worship their Allah, their deity, or whatever it is, does not exist in Islamic religion. That is, even if Kutham bin Abdullah was the one who invented Islam or established Islam, he didn't design an edifice for the religion. He didn't design a building for the religious purpose for the religion. What am I trying to say? I'm saying that what you call mosque was not part of Islamic religion. I take that again. What you call mosque today is not part of Islamic religion. I will give you practical example and give you theoretical example. 2 examples for now, and later I will add a lot to it when we start to discuss the word masjid, which was said to be mosque in Arabic. When we start to discuss that word in Quran, we'll elaborate more about this building, Islamic building they call mosque. See, mosque is not part of Islam. That is, even if Kutham bin Abdullah was the one that established Islam, then mosque was not part of Islam. Mosque, that building you see today, was not part of Islam. You see, what makes a building a specific building with a specific name? Is it the way the building is made, is built? Is it the geometrical way of the building and the shape of the building that makes the building a specific building for a purpose? Building engineers will tell you this. What makes school buildings school buildings? Do school buildings vary from houses? Right. What makes a temple a temple? Does a temple vary from a house that people sleep in? If you see a house that is meant for dwelling place for people and a temple, can you differentiate it from the look of the shape and the geometrical system of the building? Or you can only differentiate it according to what people do there? What makes synagogues synagogues? What makes churches churches? Is it the way they are built and the kind of geometrical system they were designed upon that makes churches churches? If you have just a simple four-corner building without a specific geometrical system, do you call it, does the shape the shape and the design of the four-corner building enough for you to say that that building is a church or a mosque or a temple or a synagogue or a shrine? I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. Now, this is the point. If Islamic religion was established by Kutham bin Abdullah, who later became Muhammad in the history of Islamic fabricators, if Islamic historical fabricators, Muhammad, if he was the one that established Islam, then let me tell you, he never initiated any building for Islamic purposes. I take that again. If Kusam bin Abdullah, who became Muhammad later, was the founder of Islamic religion, then he never designed and initiated a building for Islamic purposes. No. And hence, no building is important in Islamic religion to serve Islamic rituals and Islamic purposes. In other words, mosque got nothing to do with Islam. The founder of Islam, if indeed he was Kutham bin Abdullah, who became Muhammad later, then he got nothing to do with mosques. But is it not interesting and unfortunate at the same time that something that is not part of your religion, you waste money to build that thing all over your vicinities, all over your neighborhood? Meanwhile, you people are suffering from lack of financial stability. Is it not unfortunate that this building that is not part of your religion, that is, even if the one that established your religion is your so-called Muhammad, is it not shameful and unfortunate that you waste resources, you waste money to build some building that your Muhammad is not aware of? Now, this is the practical aspect of it. Muhammad stayed in Mecca for almost 50 years. At the age of 40, he claimed he has been made a prophet, the mouthpiece of Allah. And Allah is against idol worshipping. One of the biggest things that Allah deserves, one of the big things that Allah despised, is idol worshipping. I'm telling you, idolatry is a taboo. Idolatry is forbidden. Idolatry is a sacrilege in the eyes of Islamic deity Allah. Now, after 40 years, Muhammad lived in Mecca 10 years. So the sphere of prophethood of Muhammad, 10 years of prophethood of Muhammad was spent in Mecca, right? Okay. In that 10 years, Allah couldn't order Muhammad to build a building, to initiate a building for the sake of Islamic religion. I take that again. For good 10 years that Muhammad claimed to be receiving Quranic verses from Allah, Allah never asked Muhammad to build any edifice for the purpose of Islam, but rather Allah allowed Muhammad to be performing whatever rituals they claim Muhammad was performing, Islamic rituals that Muhammad was performing. Allah allowed Muhammad to perform those rituals in the shrine Kaaba. Is this not raising an alarm? Is this not a question to be asked? Is this not a $1 million question? Allah despises idol worshipping. Allah deserves idol worshipping. Idol worshipping is a sacrilege in the eyes of Allah. It is full. In fact, there is a Quranic verse that says that Allah forgives whatever sin you commit. Allah forgives. But Allah does not forgive shirk. Shirk is associating Allah with something else. And one of the number one shirk or number one act of association in Islamic religion is idol worshipping. Idol worshipping. Yes, that is it. Idol worshipping. So you see, now Allah forgives everything. See, if you are a Muslim, still garners money. If you are a Muslim and you are in a government, and your government is in power, and you are a minister or an MP, loot the nation's money, steal the nation's money, steal taxpayers' money, misuse taxpayers' money, cause financial loss to the state, to the nation, and Allah will forgive you. That is what Allah stated in the Quran. Do whatever you want to do with our money as a Muslim, and Allah will forgive you. Steal the taxpayers' money, misuse the money of the coffers of the nation, take bribe, be so corrupted as a Muslim, Allah will forgive you. As far as you are not an idolater, as far as you are not worshipping any other God apart from Allah, as far as you got nothing to do with Nagopo, as far as you got nothing to do with Antwa, Allah is okay with you. Loot, steal whatever you want to steal, destroy the nation, let the nation go bankrupt. As far as you are not mushriki, you don't worship idols, Allah will forgive you. This is what Quran stated. But be good politician, manage the money of the nation well, build the nation, take the nation to the next level, develop the nation, be punctual, be good, do your work well. But if you are worshipping, or if you are an idolater or an associator, you worship a stone, or you got something to do with a river, you got something to do with a tree, that is a sacrilege in the eyes of Allah. Allah will burn you. Allah does not care how much humanity you serve. Allah does not care how you develop our nation. Allah does not care how you help to build, to construct better roads. Allah does not care how good hospitals you give us, the companies you build for youth to get job. Allah doesn't care about that. Do all that for humanity to get better life in this world. As far as you are busumsum or you worship idols, Allah will burn you. See, be a killer, be a contract killer. Kill people the way you want, destroy humanity the way you want. As far as you are Muslim and you are not an associator, you are not worshiping idols, Allah will forgive you. That is what Allah said. So you can see how Allah is, you can see how worshipping idols or association, to associate Allah with other things, are so distasteful to Allah. You can see how it is distasteful to Allah, right? See, Quran says, Inna Allah, indeed Allah, la yaghfiru, does not forgive, and yushraka bihi, does not forgive association, does not forgive people worshipping idols. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ, but he forgives any other thing apart from that. So kill, Allah will forgive you. As far as you are a Muslim and you do not commit, you don't worship idols. Steal and loot taxpayers' money, Allah will forgive you. As far as you are not idol worshipper. Cause financial loss to the state, Allah will forgive you as far as you are not idol worshipper. Now you understand why religious politicians are the most wicked people on earth. Do you understand? Their God forgive all kind of nonsense, all kind of rubbish, as far as they claim to be holy and they don't worship idols. Their God is okay with them. So this is the thing. Now, if worshipping idols is so detestful to Allah, Allah despises worshipping idols to this level, how didn't Allah ask Muhammad to build or to initiate a burden for his worship, Allah's worship, so that he will not get closer to Kaaba, which was full of idols at that time? For good 10 years, Muhammad was worshipping Allah in Kaaba, which was full of idols. It is either Allah is confused or Allah does not know what he's doing. Hence, Muhammad is also confused, or Muhammad does not know what he's doing. So there is nothing like Islamic religious building. Mosque got nothing to do with Islam. It is waste of money, waste of resources, and it was useless effort. Instead of mosques, break all your mosques and turn them into companies. Your youth are suffering. Yes, this is the reality. Now, this is the practical example I've given you that mosque is not important in Islamic religion. You can only argue about this because you are bleeding emotionally right now. So all those buildings you have in your community calling them mosque is a useless building and waste of effort and waste of money. Stop building them. Those that you already have, break them down. Now you are complaining about a mission school that has their own law. A mission school that has their own law. You are complaining. I think you should break your mosques and build a school with the standard of Wesley girls. Your Muslim brothers and sisters that their parents took them to Wesley girls, or those that chose Wesley girls to attend, they know very well that you have Islamic schools in Ghana, but they decide not to choose the Islamic schools. Why didn't they choose the Islamic schools? What the standard Wesley girls has gotten to, and what Wesley girls can offer them in their life is far, far better than your so-called Islamic school. That is why they don't want to attend there. So what Wesley Girls School did to get to where they are, you can't go there to detect what you want. Shut up. Go break your mosques and build a school and raise the level of the school to the standard of Wesley Girls. Shut up. That is the whole thing. You see, you religious people are getting out of hand. You are getting on our nerves. Who says there's a freedom of religion in Ghana? Who says there's a freedom of worship in Ghana? Stop that. You might have it in the constitution, but practically it's not working. Do you have place for traditionalists in your schools? Will you allow traditional students to pour libation in your schools? What are you telling us? I taught in private Islamic schools and I taught in government Islamic schools. In private Islamic schools, the non-Muslims were asked to wear mayafi. They were asked to wear veil. Do you know that the veil Muslims wear is a religious mandatory? Tell me how you ask Christians and other people who are not Muslim to wear veil in your private schools and you don't want to abide by the rules of a mission school. Which kind of entitlement is that? Who told you you are so special that when you go somewhere you do whatever you want? If you want to do what you want, you go to where belongs to you, not where belongs to other people. Shut up. So back to the topic. So practically, mosque is not part of Islamic religion. Stop wasting your money by building mosques. Mosque is not part of Islamic religion. If your Muhammad has worshipped in Kaaba, full of idols in Kaaba building, and that is where your Muhammad was worshipping for good 10 years, Allah didn't ask him to build a mosque, then what is your problem? What do you need a mosque for? What do you need a mosque for? What do you need a mosque for? There is no verse in the Quran commanding Muhammad to build a mosque. Come and show me that verse. A single verse or a half verse that says that Allah commanded Muhammad to build a mosque. So mosque is not part. If your religion is indeed a religion coming from any god wherever, that God don't care about mosque. Because that God or that deity has never asked Muhammad to build a mosque. He allowed Muhammad to worship in the shrine where idols were full in it. The idols in shrine Kaaba. That is where Muhammad was doing his Islamic rituals. So mosque is not important. That is, even if your religion is coming from a deity sitting in the sky, as you claim. That is the practical aspect. Now let me take you to the book and let's finish what I want to tell you. So in Asiratul Nabawiyah, I hope you can see it. Juz'u Thani, part 2, page 93. Page 93, there is a caption of Muddatu Iqamati Rasulillah bi Kuba. The number of days or the period that Muhammad stayed in Kuba. The number of days that Muhammad stayed in Kuba. Right. This is the thing. On the way, he stood at Kuba. So there is this issue of a mosque has been built in Kuba. A mosque was not built in Kuba. What was built in Kuba was not a mosque. I will prove to you right now. Islam don't have a religious edifice. Take it from me. Islamic religion does not have building or religious edifice. Islam does not have religious edifice. take it from me or not. All those mosques you are building, you are wasting your money, you are wasting your land, you are wasting your resources, wasting your energy. Islam has no religious building. Take it from me. I dare whoever believes themselves that they know Islam, they should come and prove to us where in the Quran did Allah, the deity of Muslims, commanded Muhammad to build a mosque. And they should also show me a verse in the Quran that shows how the mosque should be built and how the mosque should look like. Where from the crescent, the baby moon, and the 5-angle star, pentagram, where is it coming from? Do you have it in the Quran? Did Allah ask you to put it there? You see, you are so illiterate, you are so ignorant with your religion that you walk into the building and come out without knowing that it is a useless building and there is nothing there. Allah don't even know what is there. That is why when an Islamic country has a problem with another country, it is easy to blast a mosque because Allah don't have time for mosque. Allah don't care about mosque. But you are able to say that that is the house of Allah. The house of Allah, and it is being blasted. Who are Papa there? Now let's go to the book. Asiratun Nabawiyya Ibn Hisham, part 2 of it, and page 93. Muddati Qamat Rasulullah bi Kuba. The period which Muhammad, the apostle of the deity Allah, stayed in Kuba. Okay? Qala Ibn Ishaq, the first originator of Islamic or Muhammad biography, says, Faqama Rasulullah bi Kuba. Muhammad stayed in Kuba, fi Bani Amr bin Auf. He stayed in the clan known as Banu Amr bin Auf. Yawm al-Ithnain. He stood there on Monday. He was there on Monday. Wayom al-Thulatha, and Tuesday. Wayom al-Arbi'a, Wednesday. Wayom al-Khamis, and Khamis. Wayom al-Khamis. So Monday to Thursday, making 4 days. He was in Kuba for good 4 days. Wa assasa Masjid-ul, and he established his mosque, which is known as Masjid-ul Kuba, and he established his mosque. False. This is a lie. Now let's proceed. If not a lie, then it is a contradiction in the same book. Okay, and then he says, ثُمَّ أَخْرَجَهُ اللَّهُ مِنْ بَيْنِ أَظْهُرِهِمْ يَوْمَ الْجُمْعَةِ, and Allah took him out of Banu Auf Friday. So Muhammad stayed in Kuba 4 days, Monday to Thursday. Muhammad stayed there. So within the 4 days, Ibn Ishaq said, Muhammad established his mosque over there, and Allah took him out of Banu Auf in Kuba on Friday, meaning Muhammad left Kuba on Friday. Now listen. وَبَنُوا أَمْرُ بُنْ عَوْفٍ يَزُعُمُونَ أَنَّهُ مَكَثَ فِيهِمْ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. But the people that he stayed with, the clan that Muhammad stayed with, claim that he stayed there more than that. That is not important to us. And he says, فَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ. He says Allah is the one who knows the best. Now let's talk about the mosque in Kuba. In the same book, this is the last part. I want to finish with it, and then we meet in the next video. Now in the same book, page 98, Asiratun Nabawiyya Ibn Hisham, part 2, page 98, below the reference, where the reference are being mentioned, there is a report there. Now this is the thing. Warawahul Hakim, an hadith reporter who is known as Hakim, reported, and al-Hakam bin Utbah Khan. He has the report from Hakam, the son of Utbah. He says, Qadama Rasulullah il-Madinata awwala ma qadamaha. When Muhammad got to Medina at the first time, Faqala Ammar bin Yasir. When Muhammad got to Medina, because Kuba is almost in Medina, okay? When Muhammad got to Kuba, which is within Medina, a village within Medina, Ammar bin Yasir says, Mali Rasulillah yadun min an naj'ala lahu makanan. What do you think Ammar bin Yasir was suggesting? Listen, Ammar bin Yasir was suggesting that Muhammad, we should have a place, makanan, for Muhammad. Is a stayqadha min qailatihi. When he woke up from sleeping at midday. In Islamic religion, sleeping at midday attract reward. They call it kailula. That is sleeping after zuhur. Sleeping after midday attract reward. They call it kailula. And sleeping at later part of the day is also forbidden in Islam. They call that one ailula. from the word illa, sickness. In Islamic religion, which is picked from Arabian culture, when you sleep after 3, you will fall sick. But when you sleep after 12 all the way to 3, you will be healthy. So sleeping after 12 to 3 is what they call kailula. There is hadith that says that kilu fa inna shayatina la taqil. The hadith says that sleep after 12 all the way to 2 to 3 fa inna shayatina la taqil. For devils and satans do not sleep at that time. So if you are someone that you are always busy at that time, according to this hadith, you are a devil, you are a Satan. Now, so Ammar was suggesting that anytime Muhammad wake up from the midday sleep, he doesn't have anywhere to sit. There's no place that Muhammad gets shade to sit under to take a fresh air. So Ammar bin Yasir suggested that Naj'al lahu makanan, let's have a place for Muhammad. Is a min qailatihi, when he wake up from his midday sleep, istadhalla fihi, he will go there and have a shade and sit under the shade and have some fresh air. Wasalla fihi, and he will pray over there. Fajama'a Ammar hijaratan, and Ammar gathered stones. Fasawwa masjida, and he put the stones in the shape of 4 square and get trees to put at the 4 corner and use the palm leaf to cover it for Muhammad. فَهُوَ أَوَّلُ مَسْجِدٍ بَنَى وَأَمَّارْ بَنَاهُ. That is the first mosque in Islam, and it was Ammar who built it. Now, this is the thing. Ammar didn't call it a mosque. The purpose in which Ammar built that building was to give Muhammad a shade. It is Arabian Peninsula all over. It's desert. They have khayma, canopies. Now, when the sun is at midday at the center of the sky, the khayma or the canopies becomes hot. So those Arabs that have some trees around, they would like to sit under the trees for fresh air and enjoy the shade. Muhammad in Taif don't have that. In Kuba, there is no tree for him to sit under when he's out of the canopy because of the heat. So Ammar suggested that let's have 4 corner building of stones and have trees at the 4 corner and put the palm dead leaves on it to give Muhammad shade. Anytime he's out of the canopy, he will come and sit there and then he will pray in there. Ammar didn't say, let's build masjid. He built it for Muhammad to have a shade at midday, to have a fresh air. This is the purpose of the building, for Muhammad to live there. So the first mosque, the first thing you claim that is a mosque, was not built by Muhammad, according to your book, according to Ibn Hisham. So if mosque is so important to Islamic religion, why didn't Allah command Muhammad to build one? Mosque is not part of your religion. One of the religions that don't have a temple or a religious building for religious purposes is Islamic religion. What you see today was invented by some people and for some reason. This is it. So on the way, this is what happened in Kuba, and I use it to establish a point that mosque is not part of Islamic religion. Meet me in the next video as I take you through the entrance of Medina and how Muhammad entered Medina. Thank you very much. Comment, share. We are grateful. When the realities of life are uncovered, change is a must. African prophet, the descendant of Thoth, the fire-breathing being. I say to you, bye-bye.